President Trump calling on both sides to work together on two issues typically in Democratic territory: paid family leave and affordable child care. Joining us right now to weigh in is the president and CEO of the Republican Main Street Partnership, Sarah Chamberlain. Sarah, good to see you.
Thanks
so much for joining us. I want to get your take on that. What did you make of the president's speech, first off, in terms of this focus on family leave?
I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I represent 73 members of Congress, and 24 of those members actually come from districts that Hillary Clinton won. So the message was great last night.
And you just came back from a trip from Ohio, which was the area there was largely, they voted for Obama last time, but this time?
This time they went overwhelmingly for Donald Trump, and this area went so strongly for Trump, it's the reason he carried Ohio.
So tell us about that. What did you learn from speaking and polling these people in Ohio recently?
So I spoke to 20 women, ages 22 to 72, and found out why they went for Trump. And they said overwhelmingly it was jobs. It was regulation reform. They're trying to open small businesses. They can't get through the paperwork, the taxes. They're paying so much in taxes, they can't afford to feed their families in some cases. And the biggest issues was ACA or Obamacare.
Oh, wow. See, we knew this. And that's why we were on this program saying, look, he's got a serious shot, because this was an economic election, Dagan.
It absolutely, and it was an election against President Obama's policies over the last 8 years. What do these individuals, do you think that the congressional leaders and those elected to Congress, both on the right and the left, are listening to these people? Do they believe in their congressional representatives to get those policies through?
They do. The people in the district believe that with Donald Trump leading them, that the Congress will come along and pass great legislation that will help them. They don't care about the rhetoric for Obamacare, whether it's fix, repeal, replace. They just want something done. One woman is paying $700 a month, and she has a $7,500 deductible. She's never using her insurance. They can't meet the $7,500 deductible.
They don't get up to $750.
No,
they're not getting sick. I mean, these high deductibles are killing people.
They're killing people.
No, and I have to tell you, as somebody, as a veteran of the Trump campaign, the gift, I think, to us was the fact that these Obamacare premium hikes came out in October. I believe if there was one factor that won the election.
Saw in advance, by the way. She knew that was going to happen. She talked about it months in advance when she first signed on.
But if there's one thing that won it, if I could only put my finger on one thing, I would say it was that in October. But I'd like to ask you, Sarah, too, you know, you said that these voters clearly voted overwhelmingly for President Obama in the previous election. Why was he so personally popular, yet they seem to revolt so much against his policies? Like, how do you explain that discrepancy?
Sure, and I asked that question, and they said they like him as a person. He seemed to be a good family man, good husband, but they just couldn't support him in his policies after a while, even though they did vote for him twice.
Interesting. They didn't like his policies, but they were good with him personally. And then with Donald Trump, they weren't sure about him personally, but they really liked him.
Well, no, and it's true. When you look at the Democratic Party, it has been in a systemic breakdown now for a decade, particularly when you look at the state houses out there, right? But I think the popularity of President Obama in a large in a large measure, it masked that. And I think almost to the Democrats' detriment. They thought things were okay because they had such a personally popular president in the White House. But the reality on the ground was they lost almost 1,000 state legislature seats, I believe 13 governorships. Only 5 states they control the governorship and both houses of the state.
They thought everything was okay because they only talk to their own who live in their neighborhoods, who have the same political ideology. They weren't talking to those people in Ohio.
The interesting thing about these people in Ohio, they're all women. They would have voted for Bill Clinton. They did not care for her. They thought she was a criminal. And that she really did do some illegal activities.
And a lot of the things that came out during the campaign sort of confirmed that for them.
It did.
Right?
It
with the emails and the videos.
Absolutely.
I want to get your take on this, Sarah, because the president also talked about education. He called education the civil rights issue of our time. Take a look.
Education is the civil rights issue of our time. I am calling upon members of both parties to pass an education bill that funds school choice for disadvantaged youth, including millions of African American and Latino children. These families should be free to choose the public, private, charter, magnet, religious, or home school that is right for them.
Sarah Chamberlain, did it resonate?
It did.
Yeah?
It did. It's a great message.
This is something that's also important to those people you're speaking with.
Absolutely, because they're hoping that their kids have a better life, and they feel strongly the way to do that is to have them have good quality education.
What does Donald Trump need to do to keep those people?
You know, that's interesting. I'm going to go in every 6 months and focus group them and ask them. But the biggest thing is jobs. He needs to start delivering on the jobs, and he appears to be. I mean, they're very excited about him.
Sarah, good to see you.
Good to
Thanks
see
so
you.
much. Sarah
Thank
Chamberlain
you.
joining us.